I'm on Millstream Drive in Frederick, just off Hayward Road, right at the corner. I'm with Macie and
Hazel.
Hazel. Of course, how could I forget that? I keep thinking Ray. So
her middle name is Ray.
Okay, I was going to say
name, Happy Ray Sourdough.
Happy Ray. So are you happy, Hazel?
She is usually.
Yeah, she's like, who is this stranger? Okay, so you are a cottage baker of sourdough.
I am.
Now, I am all over social media and on TikTok especially. And so sourdough, you got to tell me, because everybody's talking about the starter.
Yes.
Is that how you started, was just kind of figuring that out?
Yeah, so a starter is, instead of using commercial yeast, a starter just uses flour and water. Okay. And it ferments using the wild yeast and bacteria in the air. Okay. And it is a lot better for your digestive system because the bread is easier to digest. And so I was very interested once I learned about a starter, and there's all these fun terms, like you have to feed your starter.
Yes.
And you can put it to sleep in the fridge. And so yeah, my starter's name is Ember.
Okay.
And she is the magic behind all that I bake.
And you can make one starter. I've heard people who've had starters for like
years and years
40
and years.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes they get inherited and they have like a 100-year-old starter.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so it is literally, you just keep growing it and pulling off part of it.
Exactly. I bake with it. I always save some, and then I always feed it, and I always feed it, and then I'm able to increase my supply again, and it's a really fun process.
That's great. All right. So when did you start the stand?
So we opened the first weekend in February.
Okay.
I just started baking sourdough in October of 2024. I had a lot of fails at first.
Okay.
This is not...
Oh, hi.
Oh, she's just so interested in everything.
I know. I know.
So I started baking in October of 2024. I had a lot of fails because it's not an easy process. It takes hours and hours, and there's just so many different variables to it.
Yeah.
And once I nailed it, it was so much fun. And I loved being able to bake something that we could eat, that could feed our family.
Yeah.
And I loved the idea of feeding others as well.
Yeah.
So that's when we decided, you know what, we're going to give it a go and open up a stand for Frederick.
I love it. Okay, so it is an honor system. You've got all the details. Everything is clearly marked. People can order. Can they order, and that's how you have stuff ready to go?
Yes.
How does that work?
I'm typically open on Saturdays. Sometimes I'll have drops throughout the week.
Okay.
And I always have walk-ups available.
Okay.
On Saturdays at 9:30. People can just walk up from driving by, and you know, like you said, everything's detailed on here.
Yeah.
The honor system, you can pay with cash or Venmo.
Yeah.
And they grab what they want, they add up their total, they pay, and they walk away.
Awesome.
And then pre-orders are opening on Sundays at 2 p.m. It's all over my social media. Oh, bless you.
God bless you.
And you can order for pickup the following Saturday. So all of these right here have been already pre-ordered. And then, you know, they get stacked with everyone's name on them.
That is great. I love it. Is this working out as well as you expected? Better than you expected?
I am amazed at how well it's working out. I have been honored by the amount of people who are so interested in the stand.
Yeah.
I've been selling out in minutes on pre-orders.
Okay.
People have been lined up at 9:30 on Saturdays when our walk-ups come out.
Yeah.
We've sold out every weekend so far. So
that is amazing.
It's been so much fun.
So how long does it take you to bake?
Yes.
Because cottage baking is in your own kitchen.
It is. My girly. So it is in my own kitchen. So the sourdough process just takes a long time. It takes a lot of love and care.
Yeah.
So the whole process, you know, including it from sitting and fermenting and then proofing in the fridge overnight, takes about 25 hours.
Okay.
You have to start prepping about 2 days before you actually want to bake.
Okay.
Thankfully, I have a wonderful, supportive husband.
Oh, lovely.
Who helps out extra with our little girl here.
Yeah.
And that allows me a little bit more time in the kitchen and to, you know, spend all this time.
Yeah.
But he's been wonderful. He carried this heavy stand out here, got a big bruise in the process.
So I love this. You got an old entertainment system.
Yes.
You have repurposed something. Where did you find it?
Facebook Marketplace.
I love it.
And it was, yeah, you could tell it had the little stand that wheeled out like for computers or TVs. And I love repurposing things anyway. And it works out perfect with a little stand in here.
Yeah.
And I put on some chalkboard and it works out
smart.
great.
I mean, really, it's great setup.
Thank you.
Okay, so when you actually bake, how do you get so many loaves at one time? Because your oven is, I'm sure, just
one
a standard.
Oven, yeah. My poor oven's doing a great job keeping up.
Yeah.
I learned an open bake method, so it's a really popular method to bake your sourdough in a Dutch oven. So I was baking one at a time, and I said, if I'm going to mass produce, I need to be able to bake more than one. And it's called an open bake. So you cook 4 at once, but you have to recreate the steaming process. So it's this whole thing of, you know, putting steam in the oven and taking it out and rotating the loaves. And my baking days are a little crazy, but again, I have a great husband and I have a patient little baby girl here.
Yep.
So.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so I know that it looks like there's more than just bread. There's more than just sourdough here.
Yeah, so everything is sourdough. But on top of our sourdough loaves, which we have a few different flavors, I have a rotating menu, but we always have original available.
Okay.
Usually jalapeno cheddar is a fan favorite, cinnamon sugar, plain cheddar. And everything white cheddar. So we have the rotating draft.
Love it.
And I have a lot of other flavors in mind. I'm trying to release them a little bit slow.
Oh, yeah. Don't want to give out everything all at once.
A blueberry one will be coming soon. We also have brown butter chocolate chip cookies, which are just way too addictive.
Yeah.
We've eaten way too many.
I love it.
On top of sourdough cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sourdough cinnamon rolls. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever had them.
Oh, they're delicious.
Yeah.
That's the downside to me baking, though, is me eating so much of it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm so glad this has worked out even better than you expected. I think a lot of us, and me included, are all about trying to get back to as natural as possible.
Yes.
No artificial ingredients or as limiting as possible. And that's why I think this is doing so well, because we've started baking our own bread. I found a really simple 3-ingredient recipe on TikTok, and it's delicious. I did go out and buy a Dutch oven, so that I can actually bake it in something. But I was baking it in my Pyrex before that. It was working pretty good.
It'll work out.
But I love the fact that you're giving people the opportunity, the accessibility where you are, right at the corner of Hayward Road and Millstream Drive. I think for a lot of people who would not typically have access to freshly baked goods is excellent.
And that's what I was going for. You know, like you're saying, things that are good for you. You can go to the store and buy sourdough bread, but when you look at that ingredient list, if there is more than just flour, water, and salt, that's not pure sourdough bread.
No, it is not. And to be honest, it's when bread doesn't mold anymore.
Exactly.
You know that there's something in there
keeping
it. There's something wrong.
We have with you know, the fresh sourdough, because I have like sourdough bread care tips on the back because, you know, it does not have a bunch of preservatives in it, but it is good for about 3 to 5 days. I always am a big fan of slicing it and toasting it and making it with sandwiches. It's delicious.
Toasting it, I made grilled cheese with it when we've made it as well. And it is. There's nothing like it. There really is. And when you have it, when it's freshly baked and made without all those ingredients, you taste the difference.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
So it truly is. And it is a work of art, work of love. I love it. All right. So this is Macie. This is Hazel Ray. But this is Happy Ray's Sourdough. Find them on social media. Place your orders on Sundays, or come try your luck at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings right here at the corner of Millstream Drive and Hayward Road. I'll make sure all the details are on the screen for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate everything you're doing.
It was great to have you.
Yeah, great.